Have you ever stared at a boarding pass and watched the ground disappear beneath you? I barely recognize myself saying it out loud, but that's exactly how I felt when I found Daniel's ticket. My hands were shaking so badly I had to set it down on the kitchen counter before I could even read the destination. Singapore. Business class. Departure tomorrow. 2 weeks ago, I texted him a sweet good morning message. Can't wait to celebrate our anniversary next weekend. Dinner is on me. His reply had been short. Sounds great. See you tonight, babe. Nothing unusual. But in the back of my mind, a tiny voice had whispered, wait, what about the business trip he mentioned? He'd said something vague last week about a conference. When I asked which one, he brushed me off with a one-word answer. Important. So this morning, I did what any rational, loving wife might do. I checked our shared calendar. No mention of Singapore. No block of conference. Just a blank Saturday. Then I checked his email on our laptop. Nothing except the usual Amazon receipts and laundry reminders. I closed it, dismissing my doubts as insecurity. But the voice returned louder. Where are you going? And then in the pocket of his sport coat, I found the ticket. Under the coat rack where he'd hung it after getting home late last night from the office. I froze when I saw the woman's name printed on the boarding pass, Ms. Aurora Chun. Not an employee, not a client, a stranger. I exhaled, letting panic curl in my chest. Aurora Chun. Who is she? I tucked the ticket into my apron pocket and forced myself to finish making lunch. When Daniel walked in at 7 p.m. sharp, I could smell the stir-fry I'd prepared. His smile was tired but warm as he leaned in for a kiss. I let him, letting the scent of sesame oil and garlic distract me for a moment. Long day? I asked, dishing out rice. Brutal, he said, flopping into a chair. 50 calls back to back. Felt like my head would explode. I nodded, ladling vegetables onto his plate. I cleared my throat. By the way, you mentioned a business trip coming up. He looked up, surprised. Oh, that? I'm flying to Singapore tomorrow morning. For the Tech Innovators Summit. I set the ladle down. Singapore. I blinked. You didn't say which conference. He frowned. I did. He reached for a slice of bell pepper. Sorry, I meant to fill you in, but you know how deadlines were. Right, I said softly, picking at my own food. Singapore. Tomorrow. He swallowed. Yeah, don't worry. It's just a quick in and out. I'll be back Tuesday night. I nodded, trying to steady my voice. Will Aurora Chen be on the flight with you? I watched his face register confusion. Aurora who? He asked, glancing around. I reached into my apron pocket and pulled out the ticket, placing it in front of him. He read it, brow furrowing. What the? Where did you get this? My pocket, I said, unable to keep the edge from my voice. Were you planning on telling me you're traveling with Miss Chun? Because she's not on the guest list for our anniversary dinner. He exhaled, staring at the ticket as if seeing it for the first time. I can explain. I laughed bitterly. Please do. Before I think I'm going crazy, but this doesn't look like a business trip for one guy going alone. He ran a hand through his hair, looking at the floor. Aurora is a colleague. She runs our Singapore office's marketing. She flew in yesterday to prep for the summit. HR booked her on my flight. They said it was more cost-efficient. I scoffed. Cost-efficient? You're traveling business class, and you booked her in economy. He blinked. I didn't handle the booking. I told them to book me, and whoever needed to be There. So you didn't look at the confirmation? I pressed. You just assumed HR knew what they were doing. He rubbed his forehead. I guess I didn't. I was swamped. I pressed on, voice low. Let me see the HR emails, including the one where they confirm who's on your flight. He glanced at his phone. I don't have them in my inbox right now. I'll forward them later. I met his gaze, waiting. The air between us pulsed with unspoken tension. Finally he sighed. Okay, I'll do it now. He unlocked his laptop and began hunting through his email. I watched. Every movement, every click. After 10 minutes, he slid the laptop toward me. Here. He pointed at a forwarded chain. HR. Said, your name and Aurora Chen are confirmed on SQ12. I scrolled to check, but the last email was dated 2 days ago, hours before I found the ticket. No follow-up. I closed the laptop, and no mention of an in-town colleague in New York, no one named. Aurora Chen is ever brought up when you said you'd be traveling alone. He winced. I forgot to mention her. I'm sorry. I leaned forward, elbows on the table. Why didn't you just tell me? You've done business trips with colleagues before. We talk about it. But this, I feel like I'm being kept in the dark. He looked pained. I thought it was no big deal. Corporate stuff, meetings, planning, logistics. I didn't want to bother you with the details. I shook my head. It's not about the details. It's about trust. You dismiss my concerns as overthinking, but when your so-called routine business trip suddenly involves a colleague I've never met in another state, I'm supposed to stay calm. He closed his eyes, running his hands down his face. No, you're right. I messed up. I should have told you from the start. I inhaled, trying to calm my racing heart. I need more than apologies. I need clarity. Who is Aurora Chen outside of HR? He nodded, voice trembling. She's been leading the Singapore office for 2 years. She's one of my go-to people when I need help with the Asia-Pacific campaigns. She's married with 2 kids like me. I blinked, relief and doubt mixing. Married? 2 kids. He nodded. Yes. I swear I didn't. I mean, I've never even met her kids. We speak on Zoom. I exhaled, letting a small measure of relief seep in. Okay. Show me the Zoom call logs, chat, transcripts, everything that proves it's professional. His shoulders slumped, and he handed me his phone. Everything's here. Slack messages, calendar invites, call recordings. I'll share my account. I took the phone, scanning chat logs. Daniel, can we discuss tomorrow's presentation? Please. Review the APAC numbers by noon. No flirting, no personal messages, just work. I looked up. Thank you. I need this proof so I can stop doubting you, so I don't feel like a crazy person whenever I ask. He reached for my hand across the table. I know I made you feel that way, and I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how much hiding this from you would hurt. I let him squeeze my hand. I don't want secrets. Just tell me, so I can trust you again. He nodded, relief flooding his features. From now on, you'll get all the details. Every business trip, every colleague. No more surprises. I exhaled, tension easing slightly. And this time, when you return, we talk. You show me the Singapore office. You introduce me to Ms. Chen on Zoom if need be. I want to see the real thing. He smiled, eyes brightening. Deal. And I'll bring back gifts for you, no expense spared. I laughed, a soft, genuine one. That I want to see. He leaned over and kissed my forehead, the first step toward dissolving the distances secrecy had created. That night, We fell asleep tangled together, our blankets a warm fortress against the lingering doubt. As I drifted off, I realized that trust isn't about never feeling uneasy, it's about knowing. You'll be met with honesty when you ask. Tomorrow, I'd wake up knowing my husband was off to Singapore with a colleague, not a mistress, a man juggling business and family as transparently as he could, and I believe him, not because he told me, but because he showed me. When I woke the morning after our grand reveal at Eclipse, the sunlight slipped through the blackout curtains in our bedroom, once an oasis of secrets, now a haven of plans. Daniel was already downstairs, his silhouette moving through the kitchen as he brewed coffee and jotted notes on a legal pad. I padded quietly into the hallway, heart light with anticipation. "Morning," he called, turning with a mug in each hand. "I brought you a macchiato, just how you like it." I took the cup, savoring the rich crema. "Thanks. What's the mission du jour?" He tapped the stack of printouts on the counter. "We've got bookings for the next 3 weekends, 2 private events, and a charity gala in December. Plus, the sound system needs updating. Mid-range drivers are going out." His eyes brightened as he gestured. "I want you to help me pitch to our investors. We need fresh capital for the upgrades, and I'm thinking of including a rooftop lounge expansion." I sipped my coffee, excitement pulsing. A rooftop lounge, with skyline views at midnight? That would give us a real edge. I glanced at the printouts, traffic numbers, revenue graphs, upcoming calendar. "Let's assemble a presentation. Your nightclub vision meets my marketing flair." He grinned, relief and gratitude shining. "Exactly. And I could use your contacts for sponsorships, local brewers, equipment vendors, even art collectives for the lounge's mural." On it, I set my mug down, rolling up my sleeves. "I'll draft the deck this afternoon." By lunchtime, our home office had been transformed into Eclipse HQ. I pulled up slide templates on my laptop while Daniel sketched seating diagrams on a whiteboard. Our daughter Lily sat on the floor, coloring a doodle of a disco ball with glitter pens, her whimsical design earmarked for tomorrow's art gallery corner in the club. "Mom, look!" she squealed, showing me the drawing. "This is the eclipse moon." I ruffled her hair. "That's perfect, honey. We'll feature your moon as the welcome sign." I turned to Daniel. "Can we print that and hang it near the entrance?" He knelt beside Lily. "Absolutely. It'll be the first thing guests see, your special touch." He winked at me. I smiled, pride blooming in my chest. "All right, team," I said, tapping my pen. "Let's polish this presentation and secure the funds. We need to impress the board tonight." That evening, we arrived at Eclipse's administrative suite, an office above the lounge, walls lined with record sleeves and LED-lit signage. For potential investors, awaited around a polished oak table, 2 local restaurateurs, a real estate developer, and a venture capitalist. Known for nightlife ventures, they sipped sparkling water as we dimmed the lights and began our pitch. I clicked to the first slide, a mood board of the club at night, crowds on the dance floor, the mezzanine awash in neon, Olivia the saxophonist riffing over the DJ's beat. Eclipse has quickly become the city's nightlife epicenter. I began, voice confident. But we see a greater potential. A 365-day cultural hub that caters not just to late-night revelers, but to art enthusiasts, food lovers, and families looking for unique daytime experiences. Daniel took over seamlessly, outlining our 3-phase expansion plan. 1. Sound system upgrade and rooftop lounge, state-of-the-art acoustics, live jazz. brunches, cocktail bar under the stars. 2. Daytime pop-up markets, artisan fairs on weekends, yoga and mindfulness, workshops, community meet UPS. 3. Seasonal block parties, our signature eclipse under the stars events. As he spoke, I watched the investor's expressions shift from polite interest to genuine excitement. I clicked to the financial projection slide, revenue growth curves, break even, timelines, ROI estimates, all backed by our meticulous data. The restaurateurs leaned forward. "I'd love to host our Sunday supper series up there," one of them said. The developer nodded. "It'll increase foot traffic in our complex by 25%. I'm in." Even. The venture capitalist smirked. "You've got my attention. I'm ready to discuss terms." Daniel and I exchanged a triumphant glance. Our partnership on full display, our secret now, shared success. The next morning, back at home, we high-fived over breakfast. "We did it!" Daniel cheered. "We're fully funded for the upgrades." I grinned. "And we've lined up our first rooftop jazz brunch in 2 weeks." I paused, looking at him. "Can you believe how far we've come from that secret DJ set in July?" He chuckled, reaching for my hand. "I never want to go back to secrets." Just then, my phone buzzed. A message from a competitor's club owner, Marcus. "I hear you're expanding. Let's talk," over a friendly collaboration. I showed Daniel the text. He raised an eyebrow. "Collaboration or territory statement?" I smirked. "Let's see which. But this could be an opportunity, maybe a joint event for the holidays." Over the next week, as we juggled design meetings for the rooftop lounge and scouted yoga instructors for our pop-up markets, Eclipse's second life expanded into mine. I held gala committee calls in the morning, shopped fabrics for the VIP lounge in the afternoon, and tested mocktail recipes with our head bartender at night. Each day felt like stepping deeper into a world I never knew existed, and loving every minute. One night, as I walked through the club at closing time, I ran my hand along the railing, overlooking the dance floor, now empty but glowing with a residue of laughter and music. Daniel appeared beside me, handing me a champagne flute. "To us," he said. "To us," I echoed, clinking glasses. He pulled me into the DJ booth and slipped the headphones around my neck. "Take the decks," he challenged. My heart raced as I lowered the needle onto a disco remix, my first time spinning in front of an empty room. The crisp opening notes filled the space. Daniel joined me with a harmonica riff, and for a moment, it was just us and the music. No secrets, no taboos, only the shared pulse of our collaboration. As the melody swelled, I realized that the secret life he'd built alone had blossomed into a shared dream. We were no longer husband and surprised wife, but partners in an adventure that blurred the lines between home and nightlife, family and community. And beneath the strobes in the skyline, we were writing our next chapter together. Late autumn had painted the city in russet tones by the time we christened the rooftop lounge, our crowning glory atop Eclipse. The night air held a crisp breeze that rippled the ferry. Lights strung overhead, and a crescent moon floated above as though cued on our DJ deck. We'd invited everyone who'd helped us transform a hidden passion into a community landmark. Investors, city officials, local press, and friends who danced through every secret set and midnight brainstorm. I stood by the edge of the terrace as guests arrived, wine glasses in hand, surveying the scene with awe. Below us, the main floor pulsed with disco, but up here the vibe was smoother, sultry. Jazz by day transitioning into deep house rhythms as stars took their posts. Tables of tapas lined the perimeter, and at the far corner was Lily's Kids Canvas Corner, a permanent installation of her first eclipse moon mural, now the discovery spot for young artists to add their own brushstrokes. Beside me, Daniel adjusted his blazer, no longer the leather-jacketed secret DJ but a polished co-owner. He flashed that proud glint that first surprised me 2 years ago. I leaned in. "Ready," I whispered, spotting the city councilwoman approaching. He nodded. "Let's do this." Councilwoman Perez reached us first. She raised her glass. "Incredible transformation, Daniel. A secret nightclub to the city's cultural heartbeat in months. And you have my full support for the new pedestrian plaza next spring." She tapped her wine glass for emphasis. Eclipse Under the Stars was more than an event, it was a turning point for urban community engagement. I watched as neighborhood activists mingled with tech entrepreneurs, all under the glow of our rooftop lights, a microcosm of who we'd become, a bridge across generations, industries, and lifestyles. Just then, the press team called us to the DJ booth. Flashbulbs popped as cameras rolled. A local TV anchor held out her microphone. Daniel and Sarah Carter, co-owners of Eclipse. From a clandestine side hustle to a multi-venue brand that's reshaped nightlife and day life alike, how does it feel? Daniel grinned and looked at me, his partner in every sense. "It feels like we've given our city a new place to call home, one built on trust, creativity, and inclusion." I added, "and built on the idea that secrets can evolve into shared dreams if you dare to. Open the door." The anchor nodded and wrapped it up. We stepped away to applause, slipping into the crush of congratulatory hugs. Later, as the set shifted to a live Saxon synth fusion, I found a quiet moment on the balcony. The city sprawled beneath us, lights twinkling like constellations. I closed my eyes, recalling how I'd once discovered his hidden nightclub dreams, and how that shock became the catalyst for our greatest adventure. Daniel appeared beside me, handing me 2 sparklers. "For old time's sake," he asked. I laughed, igniting mine and holding it aloft. "To secrets that set us free," I toasted sparks, dancing around us. As the night deepened, we immersed ourselves in the music, our combined heartbeat pulsing. Through every note, we danced side by side, my heels clicking on the rooftop's wooden deck, his laughter mingling with the wind. Lily waved from the art corner, her mural glowing behind the DJ booth like a guardian moon. In the weeks that followed, we completed the final touches on our expansion. Rooftop brunch series, jazz Sundays atop Eclipse, complete with mimosas and children's puppet shows, midweek meditation, yoga and sound bath sessions on the Close Street patio. Neighborhood grants, a portion of profits earmarked to fund local musicians and urban garden projects. Eclipse app launch, a mobile app for real-time event updates, loyalty points, and an interactive community board. Each initiative wove the club deeper into the city's fabric, demonstrating that nightlife need not be cloaked in secrecy. It could be a beacon of shared culture. On the first snowy evening of winter, we hosted a fireside storytelling in the VIP lounge. Guests gathered around a faux fireplace, sipping hot cocoa, sharing memories of Eclipse's journey. It felt both intimate and grand, the woman from the wine bar recounting her first DJ experience with us, the local poet reading verses inspired by our rooftop moon, and Lily reading a short story she'd written about disco stars dancing among the snowflakes. When it was our turn, Daniel and I stood before our community, holding hands. He spoke first. "I once hid my dream from the woman I love, afraid of letting her in. But when I did, we found a purpose far greater than myself, one that lights up every corner of our city. I continued, and I once thought I'd never understand that second life of his. But by stepping through his secret door, I discovered a world we could build together, one that doesn't shut anyone out, but welcomes families, artists, and dreamers alike. The room erupted in applause and cheers. I felt tears of joy, pride, and relief warm on my cheeks. Tonight, as I tucked myself into bed, listening to soft jazz drifting from the living room speakers, our last encore, I reflect on how a hidden nightclub became our greatest masterpiece. The secret that startled me became the spark that ignited our shared vision, transforming shock into synergy, betrayal into partnership, and secrecy into celebration. I rest my head on the pillow embroidered with the Eclipse logo, now a cherished symbol rather than a clandestine code. Daniel's phone buzzes on the bedside table, a text from our rooftop contractor with the final blueprint for the lounge heating plan. He'll send it over first thing in the morning as promised. I reach for his hand, gripping it in the dark. "Good night, partner," I murmur. He squeezes back. "Good night, co-owner." And as I slip into sleep, I'm filled with an unwavering certainty love's true power lies not in hiding dreams, but in sharing them, and together we've built a world that no secret could ever surpass.